So what else do we need to do here to make the seal? So I need to make it smaller. So I'm gonna, and the other thing, you have to make sure you are in the proper layer. So I need to touch the layer. If I'm here in the sunrise and I'm trying to move the seal, now the seal is moving, but you have to make sure you are in the right layer to modify the layer you want. So for example, sometimes I want to modify the seal and I'm here on the sunrise and I don't know why nothing is happening. Well, nothing is happening because I'm not in the right layer. So I click the seal and I need to make it smaller. So to make it smaller, I'm going here to edit and I have to transform it by scaling it. So if I do a scale, it won't distort it. So I'm gonna make it, I can do that. But what is one thing that is kind of off? So you see like this seal is setting up nicely there. What do you think I still need to do here that I haven't done yet? Select the seal. Yeah, exactly, to get rid of background. Awesome, yes. So I'm gonna do a mask. It's called a layer mask. And again, what I'm thinking to do is, if you guys are interested, then I will have a class about layer mask. I will have a class about adjustments and so on, because I think it'll be better. But right now I'm gonna show you an easy way to make a mask. So a mask is basically, I'm gonna create a mask that only you can see the seal, you don't see the rest. Okay, so I'm gonna use a computer robots to do that. So first I'm gonna quick select. I'm gonna do here quick selection tool. When I do this in Photoshop, I'm gonna get this menu here, and it says here select and mask. So I'm gonna use the computer algorithm to do the mask for me. I can do it by hand, but again, when we have a full class about mask, I can show you how to do it by hand. But right now, I'm gonna use the computer algorithm to find me the seal, and I don't have to do the guesswork, but you can do it by hand. So I'm gonna do select and mask, and it turns like this because it's easier for me to see. And then I'm gonna do, I have to do this here. So I touch here where it says quick select tool, and then you see where it says select subject. So the computer is gonna do the work for me. So sometimes the computer gets it right or wrong. For this case, it's gonna get it right. So I'm gonna do select subject, and it's working. You see it's working, it's working, it's working. And then you see it selected the seal. You see that? So the computer knows there is a contrast. It can tell there is some kind of image there that is different in the background, and it's gonna only select the subject, and it's gonna remove the background. Okay, I can do that by hand, but I chose to do the computer algorithm. So when I'm gonna show you what a mask would look like. So this is a mask. So what it is, the computer painted everything that you don't want, which is the background, in black. And what you wanna have is in white, okay? So for now, that's good enough. I'm gonna say, okay. And now you can see the seal doesn't have a background. And we're gonna do it in Pixlr. So now that I have the seal like this, I can move it. And you can tell here on the layer, I don't know if you can see this little black and white picture. That means there is a mask. That's called a layer mask. So what is in black is what is hidden. What is white is what you can see. So now I can make it smaller. So I can go to edit and I'm gonna scale it. And I can move it. And I can also rotate it. First, I need to go and touch here where it says move tool, and then I have to go and edit free transform so I can move it a little bit, rotate it so it looks like it's just hanging out there, okay? So, so that's good. That's good, isn't it? Looks good. Perfect, doesn't it? So I'm gonna do it now with Pixlr, and Pixlr does it. It has the same feature. It's just in a different place. So make sure you are on the seal layer, right here on the seal layer. Oh, thank you. And then we're gonna go here where it says these scissors here, cut out and mask. You see how it says cut out and mask? You click there, and then you wanna go here where it says AI auto. So that's artificial intelligence. So I click there, and then it says the machines are doing their work. So it's very similar to Photoshop. And usually, sometimes it tells you, this is what I said, you have to watch a commercial, because if you have the subscription, you don't have to watch the commercial. So you just have to watch the commercial for like 4 seconds, and then you get your seal. See that? So now your seal is there, and you remove all the background. So I was here, and then I touched the move tool to get out of the mask. So now I can make it smaller. And I have to be careful not to distort it. There, it's not getting distort. And I can move it around, and I can make it distort. So that's how you do a layer mask really fast. Okay, so hopefully in the future I can have a whole class on layer mask. So any questions so far before? Now we're gonna do more on colors. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do the background. So this picture, I'm gonna want to bring some of the blues and pinks out. So kind of like this picture. So as you see, this picture, it has some blues and some greens, and it's the same picture. Oh yeah, masks are very easy to do. Actually, you just need time. Okay, so when I teach mask at the library, people get it right away. You just need about 2 hours to get it, because it's more a dice trick. You have to move your mouse, and if you have one of those pencils that you can use attached to your computer, is much better. But it's not about so much about steps, it's about moving the mouse. So the AI, the algorithm, saves you from doing that meticulous work what it is to go with the mouse. But they are not that difficult. So now I'm gonna show you how to change colors. So this picture is the same picture that you saw here. It's the same picture, but I changed the hue and the temperature of the picture. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. So make sure you are right here on the background. So you are on this layer because we're gonna add an effect to that layer only. We're not gonna add it to the seal. So we're gonna go here to adjustments, and I'm gonna go here to hue and saturation. And I'm gonna move this a little bit so you can see how the picture changed. So I'm gonna go into the violets and blues. So I'm gonna move it, and you see how the color change. So if I move it more that way, the colors get more dramatic. If I go to the left, it gets more warm. So the whole effect of the picture, the emotion that the picture transmits is very different. So I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna put it right here just to change it a little bit. Then the saturation is how much paint you have per little dots. So it's like when if you're doing watercolor, is how much paint you get on that brush. So more paint, more saturation. So see what happened here? You get more vivid colors. And then when you go the other way, you almost get like an antique sci-fi feeling. And it gets almost black and white. So you can have this effect where you have something in color in the front and the back is another. And that's why layers are important, because you can have different effects in different part of your pictures. Okay, so I like saturation, so I'm gonna put it here. And then the light, see how you can make it lighter. So I'm just gonna put a little bit. And there is more to do here, but so far I like it that way. So I'm gonna apply it. So now we get some kind of dreamy feature here, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do it on Photoshop. And Photoshop is a better tool for these effects. You get better colors and you can be more precise. So if you are into photography, there is a lot more to explore in Photoshop. So again, I'm gonna go here to my sunrise layer. So I have to make sure I'm in my sunrise layer. Then I'm gonna go to adjustments, layer adjustments, and I'm gonna do a hue. And it's gonna tell me this. Okay, and then you're gonna see in Photoshop the saturation, the layer adjustments are another layer. So you can turn the layer off. Actually, you have more precision into each effect. So I'm gonna change it too. So I'm gonna make something similar. And you see, even though I'm going the same direction than Pixlr, the colors are different because the algorithm that is Photoshop has is different than Pixlr. So it's more meticulous, the one in in Photoshop. So I'm gonna increase the saturation. So you can see, like if I go here, see how it gets more dramatic and then it goes down here. So it's fun. So on this one, you can go all the way here or all the way here and it gets the antique feeling. So I'm gonna do it that way. And then the lights, so you can put something like that. So I make it exaggerating effects so you guys can see what is happening, because I want to make it very obvious. Okay, so now that this is done, it's on there, it's on a layer. So I can turn off this layer and it goes away, the effect goes away. I can turn it on and I can also delete the layer and put another one if I don't like it. So that's the effect for the pictures. So that's the way you do pictures, and there is more things that you can do. You can do filters, and there is more adjustments that you can do. Here you see all these adjustments. So you can have, and each one of these are gonna be a layer. Okay, so any questions about this? Okay, so now I'm gonna add, I want to have my seal to be a little sparkling. Okay, so how do we do that? So I'm gonna bring another picture that I have, and you might find it, I found it on Pixabay, and it's snow. So I just went to Pixabay, which is a website that has pictures that are safe to use for non-commercial, and they're free, and you can find all kind of pictures there. I'll put it on the board, on the handout too. So I found a picture of snow, and the snow is gonna give me that sparkling feel. So I'm gonna move it here. So I'm in Photoshop, so I just gonna move it here. And well, it's more like a snow that is it has more ice than anything. And I'm gonna make it big, or I can make it small. Let's make it small for now. Well, I'm gonna make it big, and then I'm gonna make it small, so you guys can see those two sides. And if I'm here, how do I get out of there, of this mode? I just click my move tool, and it goes away. So right now, this snow is between my seal and my sunrise. I don't want it there, I want it on top. Okay, so now you can see the seal, right? So we're gonna actually make the seal look like this texture, okay? And this is very easy to do in Photoshop. So I'm going to click on the snow, then I'm gonna right click on the layer snow, and I get another set of menus here. And I'm gonna go down, go down, go down, go down, until I find clipping mask. So the clipping mask is like a clip, basically a clip, that is gonna make the layer be only on the layer beneath. So what is my layer beneath? The seal. So it's gonna make it wrap the seal. So you're gonna see what's happening. You see that? So if you see here, on here, you're gonna see this arrow. That's called a clipping mask. So the clipping mask is basically wrapping the layer right below, is the layer right below around. I can release that, so I can right click, and I can go in release, and it goes away. About the clipping, I'm gonna do it again. So I gonna click on the top layer above the seal. I'm gonna go down here, right click, create clipping mask. And now the top layer has wrapped the seal, okay? But I'm not done yet, because it looks like a ghost, right? We lost the nice seal. So we still have to do some changes to that. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna blend it. So remember how I told you that the layers have are translucent and they can be mixing. So we're gonna work with a translucent. So I'm gonna be here, make sure you are on the snow. I'm gonna click here where it says normal, that's the blending layer. I'm gonna click and I'm gonna go down and you see how it's blending different and it's giving me different version of the seal. So I'm gonna do it here again. I click, I make sure I'm on the snow layer, normal, and then I'm gonna choose the different layers. So I'm gonna go to this overlay. So I like the overlay. And I can make the layer be more translucent by reducing the opacity. The opacity here. So this right now is 100%, which means is pure color, but now I'm gonna make it more translucent. So I'm gonna reduce this and you see how it can disappear or just looks very subtle. And you can do that in each layer. So for example, if I turn everything off, I have the same, this picture, I can change it, but there is nothing underneath mixing. So it's not a good way to do it because there has to be something mixing. Right now, I only have white. So white is not mixing really good. So it has to be a sharp color, but I can reduce the opacity here to make it more translucent. See, it disappears and then appears. So you can do that with every layer. I'm gonna turn everything on. So any questions so far? I'm gonna do it with Pixlr. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my snow here. So I go plus. Oh, thank you. Thank you, very clear. That's good. Somebody said it was very clear. I'm glad to hear. That's always amazed me that it's so clear. So I'm gonna bring my snow here. And there it is. So the same thing happened. It's on top of my seal. I cannot see anything, okay? So unfortunately, we don't have clipping mask in Pixlr. So you have to do a mask by hand. So I'm gonna show you how to do a mask by hand in Pixlr. So basically I have to delete all around here to be able to get the seal. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get it translucent so I can see where the seal is. So to do that, I'm gonna click on these three dots here. So make sure you are on the snow layer. I click here and I make it transparent. So you're gonna see I make it transparent. And then you can see the seal is underneath. You see the seal? It's right there. And then I'm gonna do the mask. So the mask is I'm gonna turn all this off and only see the seal. So I'm gonna go here to cut out and then I'm gonna do shape mask and I'm gonna do a circle. So let's see if it's gonna let me do it. Where is the circle? There it is. So I make it a circle and it doesn't have to be too precise because I'm gonna change it later. Okay, so now you see now, let me make this bigger. There it is. So now you see that the mask is took everything away of the snow. You don't see the snow anymore, except for this circle. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of work by hand. So I'm gonna grab this brush, and then I'm gonna click here, remove from mask is to, you're gonna see. So I'm gonna use this. I was doing something before, so that's why it was there. You wanna do a sharp brush. So I'm gonna add the head to the part that is visible. So no, it's not, it's the other way around. So I'm gonna take it, there it is. So green means it's visible, red means it's not visible. So this is what I'm saying, like this is one of the things to do with the mask when you do it by hand. Same thing is in Photoshop, but we're just doing a little bit here because Pixlr doesn't have a clipping mask. So that step we just did in one step, here it takes about 10 steps. So now we have that, and I need to remove this section from the picture. So I'm gonna remove it. So red, it means it's gonna be off the picture. It's not gonna be there anymore. So it's almost like erase it. And we use mask because you can also erase it, but erase it makes it, destroys the pixels in the picture, and it lowers the quality of your photography. So you can actually tell when somebody has erased, and in a mask you cannot tell. So that's why masks are better than just erasing or cropping. So that's why we use mask, because the finish, the quality is gonna be more, it's gonna look better on when you print the picture or when you share the picture. So there it is. Now it's almost perfect. Okay, so you can see it's almost perfect. It just took a little bit longer. So now I'm gonna change the opacity on that picture. So I'm not gonna make it transparent. And there it is. So now you see it's very similar. But if you compare it with Photoshop, you can still see the capability of Photoshop versus Pixlr. So this is good, but so now it is. So I got out of there by, so if you are here and you wanna get out of the mask mode, you wanna click here on the arrow key on there. And there it is. So it is very similar to Photoshop. It's just a slightly less finished than Photoshop. So now we can blend the layer exactly the same than on Photoshop. So we're gonna click here on these three dots on the snow layer. And then we have a blend mode, and this is not gonna go away. One second, let me move this so you guys can see it there. And then I'm gonna see, it says blend mode. So that's one of the things Photoshop, Pixlr is better description. So in Photoshop, it doesn't, it just even has any name for it. So you can see it has very similar blend modes. So I don't know if you can see the seal, how it changed with the different blend. So you have screen, overlay. So I'm gonna leave an overlay, and then you can change the transparency or opacity, how Photoshop calls it. You see that? So now you have a sparkling seal. Do you like that?